go. Perfect. This is Maqloubeh. Maqloubeh is a traditional Iraqi, Lebanese, Palestinian, Jordanian, and Syrian dish served since the 13th century. It literally translates as upside down. We're going to start off with 2 to 3 pounds of lamb meat or chicken. I've got 1.5 sticks of cinnamon, 1 bay leaf, 5 whole cloves or a 1/4 teaspoon of ground clove, 5 whole cardamom. I like to take them and crack them at the end so they're open, and then add them in there. One teaspoon of ground allspice, 1 teaspoon of salt, this water that I'm going to cook the meat in is going to be used for the rice later. So I'm going to cook 3 cups of rice. I'm going to need 6 cups of water. I'm cooking long grain rice. You can use any rice you prefer. When you add the salt in, add as much as you think that you'll need. So if you're cooking less rice and are using less water, put in less salt. The chicken will only need half an hour to cook in this, but I am making lamb meat, so it needs 1 hour. But I am using frozen lamb meat, so I'm gonna give it an extra 10 minutes in a pressure cooker. You can do this in a regular pot if you don't have a pressure cooker. You're gonna need 1 whole cauliflower head cut into bite-sized pieces, and we're gonna fry this later, and also 1 whole eggplant. And I decided to add carrots in it. Everybody does their maqloubeh different. This is one of my favorite dishes that my mom always made for us. Traditionally you can just use eggplant and cauliflower, or either or. Some people like to put potatoes in it or carrots. When you cut the cauliflower, you can break it off into different pieces by just pulling them apart with your hand. And also you can cut into the stem and then just pull apart the rest. If it doesn't break off easily, just cut it all the way through with a knife. Try not to make them too big. We're gonna deep fry these and add it to the rice. Now you slice your eggplant into round pieces. If you're using potatoes, you slice the potatoes into round pieces just like this. You don't have to deep fry these. You can put them in the oven flat on the baking sheet and cook them first. I'm ready to start frying my veggies. You can use any oil you prefer. I'm using corn oil. You can use canola, corn, or vegetable. I fry it for 3 minutes on each side until lightly golden. Now I'm frying my cauliflower, and I'm gonna fry this until lightly golden also. You can lightly salt these after you fry them. It's best to do it when it's hot because the salt will stick to it. Now that the lamb is done, I'm having my husband strain this for me, but we're saving the broth, don't forget. I just want to strain it so I can get all the big pieces of spices out, like the cardamom and the bay leaf and the cinnamon stick and all that, so it's not in the rice when you take a bite out of it. Also, I'm going to put the meat in a bowl on the side so I can start layering my rice. The tomato is optional. I don't normally put tomato in there, but if you do put tomato in there, you don't have to cook it first. You just slice it up and put it on the bottom of the pot, and it'll cook in with the rice. Now I started with tomato, but if you're not using tomato, you can start off with layering the meat first. Now I'm going to cover the pot with the meat on the bottom. I did deep fry my carrots in there too for a couple of minutes. I lost the footage of that because my battery died when I was recording and I didn't know. Again, carrots are optional also. I normally just do it with cauliflower and eggplant. Now this requires for you to do this in layers. When we flip this dish, after it's done cooking, we're going to flip it upside down, which Maqloubeh means upside down, and then it's going to look like a cake. I'm going to put the veggies on top of the meat, a little bit of those first, and then put a layer of rice on it. Keep repeating this process until you've added all your ingredients. First the meat goes on the bottom, then veggies, a layer of rice, another layer of veggie, rice, and the remainder of the veggies. If there's a little bit of oil in the bowl, it's okay to add it to the rice. You don't have to do that part if you don't want to. Now I'm going to get the broth from the meat and add it to the whole pot after I'm done layering it. I have 3 cups of rice, so I'm going to add 6 cups of broth in there. Then put the top on it, let it come to a boil, and then lower it and simmer for 30 minutes or until the rice is done cooking. After it's done cooking, be careful, you might need help for this part. I'm having my husband do it for me. You're going to get the whole pot and flip it upside down into a pan. It should stick together, but mine didn't stick together because I added extra broth to it. If it doesn't stick together, it doesn't mean it's not good. It came out perfectly cooked. Whoa. And it tasted delicious. Perfect. Thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this delicious Maqloubeh upside down recipe. Give this a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more videos.